test streaming from my PC at some point.
Okay.
Just in case some of its processor. Trying to get my son to come home.
Hmm.
And, okay, Jen says she's on her way from work. She
Okay.
texted me, so she must have got the Skype call on her phone.
Whoops. Well, that would be entertaining. It's not as good.
Yeah. Okay.
So this morning, I was late to work.
Oh, that's
Because
the wrong lipstick.
right as I
Sorry.
that's okay. Right as I went to go out the door, I heard this banging from across the hall where the other apartment was. So I look out my little spy hole, and there's like 5 or 6 armed cops, like lined up outside this apartment with one of the guys banging on the door like this, like yelling for someone named Benny. I was like, I'm a wait.
Yeah.
So I don't know what happened. I think it may have been some sort of domestic dispute, because the other guy that I've seen that lives in the apartment was standing behind all the police officers. He looked kind of scared. So I don't know if they were trying to get the other guy out of there, but like they like went in. I was watching a police drama unfold from my little spy hole. They like went in and were shot with their guns drawn and their flashlights going clear, clear, and I was like, Jesus Christ.
No.
Yeah.
At least they didn't come for you like they did for Jen.
Oh boy.
Oh, so I'm letting my son know I need all the bandwidth. You don't, but I'll be off in a sec. Yeah, I kinda do.
It's a little important. Just a little bit.
He knows more about computers than me, he thinks, right? Nerd things. Test things. Let me see.
Bing bong.
Yay. Gotta test all the things, because, things randomly might not work.
Yeah. 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Oh, I got the wedding invitation today for the Star Wars people I want the plushies for.
Okay.
So that is April 28th. Oh! Oh, no!
What?
I will be in Vegas?
Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah, that's the TMS meetup.
Yeah.
I still need the plushies. Rob will go and
Okay. Just tell me which ones you want.
I don't know. How many Star Wars ones do you have?
Right now, in stock, I've got the Stormtrooper and the Yoda. I'm probably gonna. I mean, I can make them to order, as it were. The small ones are really quick, and I've got a bigger version of a BB-8 that I could also make. It's about yay big.
Definitely want BB-8. She has a BB-8 tattoo.
Let me get I have some paper I can scribble down.
You send me a list of prices, and then I'll pick out as many as I can manage to buy.
Sure. I'll make a list for you. Because Because I also have patterns I'm working on right now. It's not done, so I'm not going to show it on the actual stream. But I'm in the middle of making a BB-8 hat, so I can also make hats. But if you just want the plushies, that's cool by me. Okay. Speaking of stuff, I am working on one of the things that I'm hoping to show off tonight. I hope I have enough time to get it all the way done. Wee! Fringes take a long time because they're very fiddly.
So on the PC, I've got Twitch up. And it doesn't have the handy share buttons in the app.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
Or I would take care of that. It really should have those.
Are you talking about the easy one-shot buttons that they have on the main site?
Yeah, and then you can...
Yeah, I would love those to be on the app, because then I wouldn't have to dance around with it during my streams.
Yeah, well, when I'm on the Mac, I just have the website up and everything's right there to push the buttons. But I don't want to be... Chrome and Skype aren't getting along. So I don't want to load it on that machine.
I forgot Matt was streaming yesterday, so I was like, he was like, I need the camera, and I was like, okay, fine. So I'm going to be doing my stream on Wednesday night tomorrow, and maybe Friday.
Wednesday's probably a good night for me to watch. Rob has band practice on Wednesday nights.
I think what I'm going to do, because Matt is trying to do a schedule as well, and he wants to do every other Monday. So I think I'll start doing the other Mondays, and then on the weeks where he's got the camera on Mondays, I'll do Wednesdays. So that way at least, because right now it coincides with being the off weeks from our werewolf game. Mm-hmm. But if that gets switched up again, it's going to be like, well... Okay then, because it's not the most, it's always on a Wednesday, but sometimes it skips 2 weeks, or sometimes it's 2 weeks in a row. It's never on this, like, on a good schedule, so I don't know. That's why I haven't done Wednesdays before, because I never know.
Yeah, my schedule's getting really full. I've got, Sunday night is getting difficult for our DM for that game to run D&D. Mm-hmm. And he's like, well, Tuesdays and Wednesdays are good for me. I'm like, Tuesdays I've got Geek Grills. Wednesdays Rob has bands practice. Thursdays I have part-time gamers.
Yeah, it's like...
Thank you, dear. Beer.
Yeah. So I was having a little bit of trouble fitting in going to the gym. Because I was like, I'm doing something like almost every day during the week.
I went to the gym today.
Yay! I think I like going to the gym because it has all the nice nifty machines, but... I may also have to start doing some home exercises, too. Just to supplement.
Well, if it ever stops raining, I get walking and playing Pokemon Go, ideally.
Yep. I'm going to subtly... I don't want to use the word bully, but I'm going to bully my friend Kelly into coming back into playing Pokemon Go with me, because she promised. So I just need to be like... it's starting to get nice again. We need to go outside. Do outside things.
Yucky, yucky. Alright, it's 7:22. I'm gonna risk loading Chrome, I think.
Okay.
To try and do the shares for Jen, so we don't have to wait.
Mm-hmm.
I should have just done that earlier in the day, at least as far as I could post to Facebook and Twitter, I suppose, and say, we're going to do this later. Mm-hmm. But I like to have the live link out there.
Mm-hmm. Because that way, people just click on it, and they're like, oh, here we are.
Yeah, I do have the chat open in our notes doc.
Okay.
Because now that I have the notes on the PC, that's not a problem. I can see what is being communicated. Okay. Ugh. Chrome is grouchy. And Skype is doing the thing where the stream is freezing because it's not in front. Bitch!
Yep.
Oh good, it's here we go, Geek Grills. Can we...
Oh, that was the one I found. So, I still don't know if I want to put it up here, because it's like, I'm looking for our truck spill story. There's Taco Bell hot sauce, but the truck driver actually died, so it's like, it's amusing, but at the same time it's also not, because there was actually a fatality, so, eh. Ba-ding.
Okay, I did Twitter and Facebook. I'm gonna get the hell out of Chrome on that machine. And keep eyeing the Twitch and hope our video, starts moving again. So me looking, it looks like I'm looking at you like, bitch. Like I don't, there we go. Now we're moving again. God, it's so weird. It's like they don't understand what people are using their shit for.
Mm-hmm.
So now Jen will just do her share to all the Diamond Club stuff. Which I might be able to do some of.
Alright, this was
I am in
posted
those
March.
channels, I'm just not as popular as she is.
Mm-hmm. This was posted March 1st, so we'll use this one.
I did put a spill in.
Oh, you did? I didn't see.
Yeah.
Oh, that one's much more amusing. I like yours better. Mine was metal rods. Yours is corn. I like that better. Jack, get down. Are you gonna be a dick? Don't be a dick, cat. Stop it.
Okay, so project pimping. That seems like the place to put it, right?
Project pimping, yes.
Dirt Twatch. Dirt TV slash 9 not 9 of 2.
So I keep forgetting, and I keep meaning to ask, is your handle from, like, a Star Trek reference?
I mean, sort of, in that, that's a board designation style name, but it's September.
Oh,
It's okay. It took me a minute too. Like, the story is that I lived in this house that was turned into an apartment, and a friend of mine lived across the hall, and he took a message for me, and he left me a note, and he addressed it to 9 of 12. Mm-hmm. So I'm reading the note, and it's obviously for me, but I was like, what the hell? What is this? It's like, what? I'm like, this is 9 of 12. He's like, it's you? I was like, oh! So it was really great. This was in somewhere around 97. So it was also a really good opportunity to just grab that and go as far as using and changing and updating online presence handles. Because, I mean, perfect for that, being so tricky.
Yeah. I mean, now that it makes perfect sense. I was just like, it's a cool handle. I didn't know where it was from.
Like I said, it even took me a second, so, you know.
Yeah, my Twitch handle is from my low knowledge of how to actually play video games. The other handle that I use quite often is Fuzzy Kaninchen, which is Kaninchen is German for rabbit, so it's just
okay.
Fuzzy rabbit. Kitty, are we gonna have a problem? Stop it! Oh, I startled you. He was so into what he was doing that when I tapped him, he was like, ah!
Oh.
Kitty.
Yeah, I've had a lot of handles over the years. Back in the mid-'80s, when it was BBS's pre-internet, I used Princess Naya. And it was kind of after, like, I lived in Niagara County. I think I see Jen trying to come in.
I'm here.
Hello.
Hi. We are live.
Hi.
So you know.
I know. No video yet.
I did the shares on Grill's Facebook and Twitter.
Thank you.
I posted that we're live in the Project Pimping Diamond Club Discord.
Am I gonna have to get a can of air? Stop it.
So what else? And then I was using Trillion for years.
Are you talking about how you used to message people?
Like,
I just
different
mentioned
handles.
Trillion to somebody the other day.
Just different handles I've had. Like on BBS's is where I started needing handles.
I just think it's funny because I literally was talking about Trillion just yesterday. It's so random. Or no, today. It was today, actually, with a coworker. I was like, I used to use Trillion to keep track of all my different IM programs.
No, it was a handle of mine. And then, I mean, that was fine for
Trillion.
BBS's.
Oh, so not the program. That's so funny.
No, Trillion, like the character from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Right. But then the internet happened, and so all the Hitchhiker's nerds came out of the woodwork, and suddenly it was a super common handle. So I had to find something else. I just kind of used Ember for a while, because I had a website called Ember's Hearth. So I used a little play on words with my name.
I had... So when I sold a bunch of
about 9 of 12.
When I sold a bunch of candles and crap like that at vendor events and stuff, me and my friend that did that, we used to sell that in witch bottles, and we do readings. She did rune readings, I did tarot readings, and then we would sell stuff. And our little name was Hearthfire, which is funny. Hearthfire. It was very very lovey. It sounded very warm and cozy.
Yep.
I like hearth. Hearth is such a word that makes me always think of like you can't hear the word hearth and not be like, warm and cozy.
Yeah, me too.
It's like a warm and cozy word. All right, I'm getting the notes in front of me. Give me just another hot second.
Okay.
My video will come on at that point too.
Okay.
Yeah, a bunch of people say hearth, like Hearthstone.
Hearth?
And it's
I'm like, Hearthstone.
That's not right.
I think heart. I think it's because I think of heart and hearth. Like you say heart, so why wouldn't you say hearth?
Right.
You just add an H. You just add the Cool.
Well, hearth sounds like dearth. Like it's imposing. It's not welcoming, right?
Yeah.
Hearth.
It's alright. People use their
what does
herbs for stuff.
the dictionary say?
I don't know. Now let's find
Now
out.
I gotta look it up.
Who's
and
right?
we can just fight with people and be sure we're right. Because that's what we do now that we have the Book of All Knowledge in our hands.
Uh-huh.
I was talking to somebody about how we can't have like arguments like we used to because we can just figure out the answer right away. Like, how sad. I used to have like long drag out fights like with my friend where we had to like literally wait till a library opened to be able to look up a piece of information. So we just debated about it for the entire frickin' weekend until we could access the library. All right, how's my volume, by the way?
Sounds good.
Sounds
At
good.
least to me.
Okay. Because
Hearth.
Okay, so that's the English.
Hearth.
yeah,
Hearth.
And
Hoth.
Hearth.
Neither of those sounds
hearth.
like
Earth.
Hearth.
Hearthstone.
That's some Midwestern shit right there.
Hearth. I've been using the Hearthstone. Play the game.
The Mimis?
That's like the southern thing. By the way, I don't know if you saw my message, but I heard you.
Oh, I figured. When I saw the congratulations, I figured you heard me win.
Yeah. I literally have been slammed at work. I didn't get a chance to like actually. What
And
are
I
you even looking
totally-
at? Explain more other than good job. Hooray.
Took advantage of and pimped part-time.
Right?
I was like, oh, was that out of line? Yeah.
That's fine.
My cat has gone crazy. He is attacking the floor underneath my chair.
Oh, no.
Well, that sounds awful.
I
What
mean,
are
I
you
didn't
doing?
introduce myself as, this is 9 of 12 from the Geek Grills podcast, because that would be a little too much. And Brian remembers and knows and is nice, and I think he's actually done that before for me, but it's tacky
Scott
to push
doesn't even
it.
remember the name of people other than his own children or siblings. So,
He must
Yeah,
have wrote
yeah.
it down today.
Oh.
He or just September was easy to remember the 9 to 12 for him for something reason.
Yeah,
He actually used my
gosh.
name today.
yes, much better.
Oh, and we had a little
Or not today. Yesterday. Sorry.
we had a little convention apparently this weekend. I was out at my game, but Matt went to go help out. I forget. It's a little like sci-fi convention. I don't remember what the name of it was, but it was at like Cumberland Mall, in the conference center, and he pimped us out. Apparently, he was trying to help us get viewers. So
That's awesome. We had I let Wild West Con pass me by again, which I completely forget about it until Taylus, who we had on the show, Taylus Forge. She goes to it every year, and it was like the first like really big steampunk convention in the country, and they always use old Tucson. They like clear out that street, and so it looks like a western kind of. So it's like perfect for that convention. It's like really fun, but I was really sad because I forget every freaking year, and yeah, that sucks. Okay, I think you'll be able to get video now. I think I got everything working in theory. Oh.
Hi. All right.
Were you the one that band hammered the asshole on The Walking Drunk? Or was it Wabbit? Oh, you have Wabbit because you didn't have moderator privilege.
No, I missed that.
It wasn't anything really worth noticing, but it was funny that somebody felt like it was worthwhile to come in and say something about my size. And I was like, oh, you're super cool. People are losers. Not all people. Just
not all people, just some.
Hashtag not all people.
Hashtag.
Oh my god.
All right.
We might already have our episode title. Speaking of which, I'm gonna grab a pen because I tend to scribble those. Come to think of it. I don't know if the bots are set up to tell people about the suggestion bot. They're set up to tell about our social media.
Did you post that we're live on the Discords or just on the Facebook?
Just on the only Discord I put it on is the Pimp Your Project channel in Diamond Club.
Okay.
Oh, it's the shadow of my toe that he's so interested in. I've got my legs crossed in the chair, and I keep moving my feet, and he's looking right at the shadow and then trying to attack it.
He's going to eat your toe.
Apparently.
Eat a shadow.
Eat.
Good luck with that.
Oh.
All right, well, are we pretty good to go?
Give me 2 seconds. I'm doing the Discord right now.
Sean actually asked me to, he wanted us to get together and play K-Blazers tonight and prep for the show on Thursday. I'm like, I have a thing Tuesdays. You don't even watch my other show? What's the matter with you?
Clearly you don't, if you don't know that. I literally have it
okay, he's a
listed
patron.
now in order, so I can literally go through all of the Discords that I post on. Every single one.
Yeah, you need a bot for that.
What I bought is other people's channels, so I don't bought it up.
Right, but something that auto-posts.
Well, I don't post to 18 different Discord channels. That good stuff.
Oh, I did not even know you were there, kitty cat. Hi. I didn't know she had jumped up behind me.
Oh, yeah, she's been up there for a while.
Oh. Ninja cat. Meanwhile, Derp cat is down here by my feet. Stop it! I'm gonna have to
Shut up and sit down.
I was like,
What the hell was that?
But I wasn't down.
I didn't do that on purpose.
Oops.
And it could cause a problem. Because it stopped.
Uh-oh.
I might have to play it through twice for us to get a proper intro. We'll find out when it starts. If it doesn't start at the beginning, it's because of that. We'll have to do another start. I typed into the wrong keyboard is what happened. I'm sitting here with 2 keyboards. And typing into the wrong one activated the soundboard.
So I found out that I put Twitter and Facebook into an infinite loop, where one was posting to the other automatically in both directions.
Oops.
Ooh.
So I was posting things on Twitter multiple times, and then my Facebook multiple times. And I'm like, okay, just because I link these 2 things, where's my option to post every time I post, or that should be an option. So I had to literally disconnect them, otherwise it would stop. That's really nice. Okay, I am totally ready, everyone.
Okay.
Yep, ready.
Alright, we're gonna have to wait for this to play twice to get a proper start. I know, soundboard glitches, but it's homemade. I mean, come on. Okay, now let's get the start for real.
Shut up and sit down.
Hello and welcome to episode 81 of Geek Grills, a podcast in which geeky women, and sometimes guests, gather to record topical conversation and then offer it to the masses.
Ooh.
While our phones ring and shit. The Geek Grills podcast is supported solely by our patrons. Please visit there today at www.patreon.com/grills. I'm September, also known as 9 of 12, and I'm here with my co-hosts, Linda.
Hi, sorry about that. I thought I put it on silent.
It happens to us all. And the Jen.
Hi. And we're not in a theater. If we were in a theater, I'd be mad. That's fine.
So, what have you been up to this week?
Ah, a lot. It was a busy week. I swear I was like, how do I be human? I just needed a minute to just chill and decompress, which there was not a minute of the whole week. So Friday I had a lot of fun. I was on Mind of a Geek. Super fun. Check it out. Ink Geek Studios. Super, super, super fun. Those guys are hilarious. Um, they are apparently we're all the same age, so that was really random. Uh, but it was just really interesting talking to nerds that I don't normally get to talk to, and just kind of BS about MCU and other things. So it was really fun. I also did the Walking Drunk with Jackie on Saturday. Shout out to Jackie who's in the chat. Uh, it was a really intense episode that we were talking about. We talked about the mid-season premiere, I guess. It's like the second half of the season, basically. So it was season 8, episode 9. It was super intense. So it's a great conversation. I really had a lot of fun doing that. I did catch up on RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars Season 3. And I won't give any spoilers, but I'm super freaking pissed off. And I'm tired of people doing things because it's in their control. Anyway, super mad. I went to a beer garden, tried some yummy beer. That was cool. Super mellow. I know, super surprising. I played some Monster Hunter, so the few minutes I had of chill time was mostly spent doing that. And then I did have Hearthstone Collegiate Tourney last night. We lost again. Went 1-3 though, so we did actually win the game. So that was nice. But these people have intense decks. It's like against soft. They're just soft, and it was insane to me how just like I was like, well, we have another turn as long as they don't have this, and this in their hand, like in the turn stuff. And they had all of them in their hand right there. So it was crazy, but whatever. We're having fun. Yeah, that was sweet. It was busy.
Right on. And Linda, are you going to start with your
Plushie update.
Plushie update? Ooh, and I have the wrong soundboard open, so I can't do your bumper.
That's okay.
I'll put it in later.
So first, I don't have stuffed things this week. I've got 2 of these little shroom purses that I made, little based off of Mario. You can put the pattern called them like convention purses, which I can understand because you can put your phone and such in here. It's not like super huge, but they're cute. I've got 2 little red ones with the white dots on them, for a little extra life. And then it's not quite done yet, but by the end of the stream it will be done. So I'll go ahead and show it off. I'm making a pride scarf. So mostly it's a white scarf that's got the rainbow. I should say gay pride scarf.
Cool.
It's got the rainbow fringes. I'm gonna try and make a pride scarf for most of the big quote unquote big ones. Obviously, I can make any kind of pride scarf if someone like commissions me for it. But for the convention, I'll probably have this one and an ace scarf, and I'll probably have a pan and a bi and a lesbian as well. They all have flags. I have all of the flags like saved into my my computer, so I can look up and see what colors the flags are. I always thought they were really cool, so I'll make a bunch of, well, not a bunch, but I'll make some of those, and then I can always be commissioned for a different one if someone wants it.
That's super cool.
Yep.
Excellent.
So that's the plushie update. I binged watched a show on YouTube actually about Edwardian farming. It's like these historians in England, like go to this. It's a still working Edwardian farm in Devon, I think Devon, England, and like they spend an entire calendar year being farmers and making the farm work and planting and taking care of the animals and learning about how that life actually like worked. And I thought it was super interesting. I like that kind of historical stuff where you're doing like living history. It's just very, very interesting to me. And then of course last weekend, or it was Garden of Destinies was the LARP I was at, which is a lot of fun because my character is mostly sass with a smidgen of bitch. And I was on the worst stint of PMS that I have had in a very long time, so I was able to kind of tap into that. And like it's just tap into that and turn off your brain to mouth filter, and there you go. So I got to have
good plan.
I got to channel that into something that was not just making me angry. That was my week.
Right on. Well, this Geeky Week, I got it. I got my Kyogre. Yay!
Hooray! That's awesome.
Thank you to all the raiders that helped me. Went out and did a whole bunch of raids and got extra Rayquazas and crap. And especially Nick, this guy, he was like, I'll throw for you. I got a trick. I'm like, yeah, everybody has a trick, right? First freaking throw. He got it. Like, all right, good, done. I will come raid whenever you need me. I won a copy of Guns of Icarus Alliance and some bonus stuff for it, like Yogscast costumes and the soundtrack on TMS yesterday, so that was cool and exciting. On the Stump
Dunaway.
Dunaway. Yeah. The other Brian.
The other Brian.
I
the South Carolina Brian.
Yes. I got new glasses, so I did get the anti-glare. It's sort of...
I was going to comment on your fancy glances.
Working. It's right there. They're uber nerdy.
They're super cute. Love them.
I love them. They remind me of some I had a long, long time ago in Florida, and I used to frequent this bar, and they would just call me that librarian chick. I'm okay with that.
Sure.
And hopefully the anti-glare is a little better for stream. I'm still seeing some glare. I'll figure something out eventually. What else? Oh, last night, instead of D&D, because a couple people couldn't make it, we played Snake Oil, and then we played some Cards Against Humanity. And that was a lot of fun. I've never played it like the physical game before. I've only played it digitally. Like the Pretend You're Zizzy online copy, and of course I play a lot of Quiplash though. So I was pretty good at Cards Against Humanity. I mean, similar concepts if I did have to make everything up. I did really well. I didn't win. I was close. But the funniest thing of the night was, and I was just, you get one of those and you put it there and you're like, I can't believe I'm doing this. But
those are the ones that are going to win.
Right?
You're like, I feel bad, which means you fuckos, you absolutely horrible people are going to appreciate it, and this card is going to win.
Yeah, and it was when I had 2 cards, so it was like, if you can't handle blank, you better stay away from blank. So I put a rag full of ether and my worthless son.
Oh no.
Like, Mother of the Year. Oh my god. My friend Tom was just like, I don't invite me to your house. I'm not coming.
Quietly dialing CPS. Like,
right? And my husband's like, it's Victor, isn't it? I'm like, damn. I immediately thought, which kid, right?
Oh no.
But I told my eldest about it. He thought it was hilarious, so,
I did have one other thing I completely forgot to mention that is super important. This last week, I had hit a milestone for a particular weight that I have not been below in 15 years. And that was really exciting. So I just want to make sure to brag about that because that was really awesome for me.
All
Yay!
right. That's fantastic. I went to the gym today. Not getting anywhere.
Good.
I did go,
win.
and it hurts.
That's what matters.
So I guess with that, it is time for the Geek Grapevine. So something's going on with Extra Life and Humble Bundle.
Yes. I didn't actually have a news article, although we're going to put the just Humble Bundle linked in the notes if I can speak correctly. Jesus. But I did get an email from them because I'm part of the Extra Life community, and Extra Life is the selected featured charity for Humble Bundle and for the month of March. So any Humble Bundles you get this month will be that part of that money will go to charity for the Children's Miracle Network hospitals, and that benefits all the families that get treated there. And I like Extra Life. Obviously, I've done it before. I'm going to do it in the future. It's a very good charity, and it's a way for gamers to do what they like doing to help other people. So I think it's a cool thing.
I really like Extra Life. I think it's a great organization, and I really like, if you're a gamer and you don't know about Humble Bundle, and even if you like to read like books, comic books, RPGs, like they have all kinds of different bundles. They have the programmer bundles too, if you're a programmer. But the thing is they do these different bundles, and you spend money, you pay way less than you would have for all the things that you get, and then it supports a charity. So, I mean, how can you go wrong? It's super awesome.
And it's a different charity every month, I believe.
Yeah, they rotate around. That's what Yodcast does do every year for the Jingle Jam, which I love, and I do every year. And they've raised millions and millions of dollars for charity, which is just amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So what's next, Monster Hunter? That must be Jen.
No. Yes. So I just wanted to mention that Monster Hunter World is Capcom's best-selling game of all time. I know we're super surprised, considering. So they've shipped a total of 7.5 million copies of Monster Hunter World, which is crazy. Which is not surprising. I bought a console to play it. So I would like to play it. Play it. What is with our words today? Like, none of us can talk.
I don't know.
Today is No Talking Normal Tuesday. But yeah, like, I know other people that also bought a console in order to play this game.
Wow.
So it's a lot of people playing this game. It's nuts. So yeah, I just thought I'd throw that out there because I was surprised. I mean, I knew it was selling well, but I didn't think it would be Capcom's best. I mean, they've done Resident Evil, Mega Man, Street Fighter, Dead Rising. I can't even think of what else they've done, but those are probably the big ones.
Yeah, they've done a lot.
I'm trying to think.
Resident Evil being the one that's usually I think of as their best-selling works when I think of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like something I would do, buy a console just for a game, but Overwatch is
it was
close.
either that or wait till August, September, maybe December. And I wasn't going to wait that long.
I understand. Well, I wanted all this bonus stuff, and I couldn't get it. So, I got an Overwatch, but now I don't have anyone to play with, because no one plays it on that platform. So I just, don't play it. But that's okay. My kids like it.
I didn't put it in the notes, but there's a new Overwatch hero. Just saying, people should go check it out.
Yes, I know.
Oh, is that the one where everyone's like my new waifu?
Yes.
Probably. I don't know.
All the fan art was hitting Twitter like as soon as she was released. So Jen, I found you a spill. You can go ahead and take the spill.
Oh boy. A silo collapses and spills 10,000 tons of corn onto Ohio Road. Oh my God! It was a silo and it still hit the road.
Right? Yeah. It just appeared. It wasn't even a truck this time.
I was like, okay, we have a silo spill, great. And then I read the last line. It's like onto the road. wait a minute.
How close was it to the road?
Yeah, so Miami Valley Feed and Grain Company in New Carlisle in Western Ohio around 11:30 Sunday night. There was no explosion, and sounds came from the silo collapsing. The collapse also damaged another building. That's unfortunate. No injuries reported, though. There were no employees. Officials say the collapse took out several power poles and lines. Oh my god, like 300 people lost power. Great. Yeah, Ohio 571 was closed, and oh my god. So this was on. All right, so this was in January, but basically the road was closed for several days to deal with this. That's insane.
And a bunch of people lost power, and geez.
That's crazy. I just think those silos are not that close, but then again, I guess they're pretty tall, so.
Well, can you imagine? It's like your power goes out, and it's like, what is there, a lightning strike or something? And then it's like, nah, silo collapsed. What?
Wait, I'm sorry, what?
Corn. Just corn.
Corn. It was corn.
I mean, I would. That's so silly. That's ridiculous. I still can't believe I hit the road. That's what tickles me.
Yeah, so it was like, okay, I found a road spill that's not trucks. This has got to go in.
So weird. That's a first.
Yeah, that is the first for us anyway. Maybe we could find more. Feel free to send us your road spills, folks.
Yeah.
Yeah, we like road spill stories. If you find them, send them.
Yes.
To me.
And before we get into our main topic, I will remind folks, if you use...
Hey, sorry.
If you're in the chat right now and use exclamation point S and then type something, you can suggest a title for our show today, and you can, after the show, go to the link and vote on titles, and we'll pick something popular probably. Or at least incorporate it.
Or something that we like.
We like your input. So, folks, we're going to talk today about archetypes and tropes. Linda has an awful lot of input on this. She's got educational background where this has come up.
Jen is the lit major.
Well, both of you have.
I have a published book, so there's that.
Right.
That absolutely counts.
I literally, though, I was like, let's see, tropes. Let's go to tvtrope.com because that's hilarious. They literally,
if you don't know about that website, it's incredible.
They literally have a random trope button. And the one that I'm on right now is giving the sword to a noob. And I was like, yeah, that's trope. Anyway, get out of here.
I have not seen that.
Oh, yeah, tvtropes.com is pretty hilarious, actually.
I think that one of the first, and I'm glad we have definitions in here, because I think that there are, not everybody's maybe familiar with how we analyze literature. And by the way, I use that term very, very loosely. I was a lit major, but I was a modern lit major, which means I took a lot of film classes. So I think literature can encompass audio, video, written word, spoken word.
It's media, really.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You got it. So when I use the word, I just want to clarify, when I say literature, I mean all of that.
Well, that's why I included the definitions, because I figure we're going to bleed over into comics and TV and movies and even games, I feel would benefit the discussion. And so to use a frame of reference for, what the basic meaning of these terms is would be useful for you to introduce.
Yeah. Well, we could start with definitions, I guess. So
what is an archetype?
Yes, the definition of an archetype. What we have here is it's a very typical example of a certain person or thing, or two is a quote. So, quote, the book is a perfect archetype of the genre. And that can mean an original that has been imitated. The archetype, like an archetype of faith would be Abraham, or it's like a reoccurrent symbol or motif in like literature or media or what have you. It's almost, stereotype, but not stereotype.
It's the norms.
It's the norms.
Yep.
Or maybe the epitome of, like,
The big,
what is considered the original, authentic, typical, example.
Yeah, like I look at it as like high level norm is kind of how I think about it. Like you're talking about big high level categories. So
Yeah, and of course there's oh god, what was the
for example, a hero is an archetype.
there's a very famous person who has made a list of archetypes, and I just can't remember what his name is.
yeah, there are a lot, and it's funny because it comes up in gaming a lot. So I'm glad that somebody put that down because I think the archetype of character comes up so often when you're like making a character sheet to play like any role-playing game.
I mean,
like the first thing you do is like, what's my archetype?
Yeah, some role-playing games actually have on their character sheets archetypes, and you are choosing your archetype.
Absolutely. Now that opposed to a trope, which is a figurative or metaphorical use of a word or expression. So, for example, he used the two Americas trope to explain how a nation free and democratic at home could act wantonly abroad. So tropes are, this definition I like, but I don't like because I feel like it doesn't quite get to the connotation and the deeper use of trope and how it's been perpetuated. That's a problem with definitions, right? Like our language evolves and our dictionary doesn't always keep up. But it's like anytime you're seeing, I don't know how a good way to explain it. Ember, help me out here.
Okay.
How would you define a trope?
What I see here that does fit is that it refers to a figurative or metaphorical use of. Now, not necessarily word or expression. I think that's where it shifted because we use the word trope now to refer to stories. So stories that they're often
patterns.
figurative.
Yeah,
they're a metaphor for a certain set of things that is going to happen, like a beginning, middle, end that is a common trope. Girl gets kidnapped, hero rescues girl, live happily ever after. Like that's a tropey story, right? We use trope differently now, but it's always it's often a metaphor.
Mm-hmm. I'm back on TV tropes. I hit the random trope button, and this one came up: enthralling siren. That is a trope
all the time.
That is used over and over and over again in stories. So it can be. It's just something that's part of a cultural knowledge, like a pattern that we have in our culture. So tropes will vary depending on where you grew up, even at what religion you are. It all depends on where you're from.
I'm glad you mentioned that because one of the things that's really interesting about trope versus archetype is that archetypes, I'm not saying that there are certain ones that don't exist differently in different cultures, but it's interesting when you look at media across varied cultures, and you will find that there are certain archetypes that most of those same archetypes in every single one. And that's what always fascinates me, especially when you're looking at things from different cultures specifically. Whereas, right, tropes tend to be very, very grounded in the culture that they're in.
Well, it's like you have, and this is an example I just thought of, you can have like the old mentor archetype, which is something that actually kind of goes across
the wise old sage.
The wise old sage. Whereas if it's a trope, if you're looking in maybe Asian cultures, you have the drunken master, which totally. that is also could be an archetype of the wise old sage, but it's a very specific trope of that archetype.
Absolutely.
That makes sense. Example. Like flaws that are often used that end up like, oh, that trope, because you recognize it was used somewhere else.
Yeah.
Because I had put in there the example of, it was funny, I was thinking about the episode and Happy Gilmore came on. And I love Happy Gilmore, man. I just, every time it's on TV and I'm like, I end up sitting there watching the whole damn thing again. And I was like, this is so built on tropes, on like archetypical characters. I mean, 80s movies and sports movies. It's got like every element of those, and like it's got like really like the trope that you guys were talking to made me think of is Shooter, right? Shooter McGavin. And that rich guy asshole who is the popular dominant dude, right? And then you got Adam Sandler characters who's like the outcast freak who doesn't belong there, but then he's really good at the sport and he's gonna obviously, you know, overtake him. And it's
The
so
underdog
Revenge
story.
of the Nerds, right? Where it's
Yeah.
like the rich frat boys, you know.
One of the things that I think part of the reason we see this in media, and this is just a gen theory based on an amalgamation of people that I'm probably ripping off with this idea, but a lot of the reason that these come up is because it makes people comfortable. It gives them something for them to reference without having to explain in detail, you know, these different things. We use them because it doesn't need an explanation because you're so used to seeing it that you get it and you can access the story easier, which means you're not getting caught up on those kind of details. It's interesting how often they come up in literally everything.
I think there are reasons why archetypes persist. There's a lot of reasons. I was thinking about it in gaming, and you know, you've got it's in RPGs, like you were saying. They're in every RPG. You've got your tank and your heals and your DPS, right? And you're in D&D party. You got your tank, which is, you know, a paladin or a fighter, and then you've got like a ranger or somebody that's got ranged, and then you've got your cleric for your heals, you know, and then sometimes you'll have a thief for comic relief is usually or the bard.
Yeah.
And like how much of this came from, and in these stories and the games, I mean, the games, there's mechanics involved, but when a lot of the archetypes came originally from things like a war tactic, I mean, chess has these type of pieces.
Oh yeah, like there are people that are great thinkers that have like published, or they think they're great thinkers, academics who publish their chess moves, and people analyze like how they play chess to make assumptions about them as people, and it's a really fascinating. Like Marx publishes chess moves because he's a friggin' egotistical maniac who didn't shower enough and was covered in boils. But anyway, that's side comment. But no, it's interesting how things like that can be absolutely telling.
Well, yeah, I mean,
And
you
don't
relate
wanna
to a
make assumptions,
character.
Like I said, it's not stereotypes necessarily, but it's
Yeah, it's fun actually to use the archetype and trope thing, especially if you're writing or if you're producing something. You can use them to then turn them on their heads, and that makes your story more interesting, or it makes it fresh and new in a way. I mean, people have been doing that for a while, so it's not super, you know, groundbreaking, but it is there. It's like, well, let's make the mentor the main character kind of thing. Or it's just ways to freshen up, you know, what you're writing or what you're producing or whatever.
I think you're absolutely right. And I think one of the things that we've seen a lot, and speaking of one that's been used a lot, is the anti-hero, which is that we're supposed to hate the villains, love the heroes. And right now, how many shows, movies, or whatever you watch where you love the garbage out of the villain, but you're like, I maybe can see where they're coming from, but they're still terrible people. And it's turning it on its head. Normally we're supposed to just revile the villain. That's how they're set up. I mean, you go back to like Greek theater, and that's it. You revile the villain. The villain is terrible. The end. But
there's a lot of interesting
complex.
Yeah, there are a lot of interesting complexities in anti-heroes and in antagonists. Like, I mean, we were just talking about with Black Panther and Killmonger. He was definitely an antagonist. We were loath to call him a villain, even though his acts were incredibly villainous. But if you were someone from his neighborhood and angry for the same reasons, you would be a hero to him. I was looking for an actual definition of anti-hero, and I found it really interesting that it's actually defined as a protagonist in the story. So, I mean, they're still the protagonist. They're still sort of in that hero space, but they lack the conventional hero qualities. There's this thing that really
I think Walter
separates
White
them.
is always my favorite go-to.
Is what?
Walter White is always my favorite go-to. Breaking Bad or Dexter. Those would be two examples where those are the heroes of the story of those individual shows. but they're not good.
They're not good people.
They're
No.
not, one of them is a serial killer. Your main person in the show is murdering people.
Yes. It's like the ethics and the morality are things that get wishy-washy. And motivation, I think, is something that really separates heroes and anti-villains, because there is a separation there. Like, you've heard me say before, like, I feel very strongly, especially now, in her current arc, that Harley is an anti-hero. I mean, you do not want to mug an old lady where she can see you, because she will beat your ass, maybe to death if no one stops her in time.
Into the ground.
But it's not a self-motivated, only for your own selfish reasons, which a lot of anti-heroes have that I don't want to say trope, but that's not exactly the right word, going on, where they're only coincidentally a hero. Oh, Riddick.
Yeah, Riddick.
Riddick
Well,
is
the
kicking
very
ass.
first, the very first movie, Pitch Black, he was most definitely, solidly an anti-hero.
I'm
Yes.
going to kill you with my teacup.
Are you still
I'm going
doing the
Or
right
whatever my
things for the overall story? That a hero, like, he has the same objectives as a hero, but not for the same reasons. He's purely selfish. He just happens to end up being the
He's a
hero.
badass, and I love that movie.
I really like the whole Riddick series. It's just like in the second one, The Chronicles of Riddick, he was more like a hero. He was less anti-hero and more hero, because he was up against this big, great, terrible army of death. But then in
It's
the
like
third,
they were like the worst, the worst guy. The worser people.
and then in the third one, he kind of went back. He was still hero, but he went back into the anti-hero because he was just trying to survive. So
Yeah, he's not nobly motivated, right? Which
Yeah.
is the typical hero.
yeah,
I
but he was more nobly motivated in the second one than the first or the third one, is my opinion. But
I would agree with that. I also want to call out, Jackie brought up another great example other than Walter White, which I don't know why I didn't think of that one first, was House of Cards. Frank
yeah.
Underwood. Frank Underwood. Okay, seriously, nobody can talk Tuesday. Welcome to the day.
I don't know. From what I've seen to that
Definitely an
show,
anti-hero.
he's. I don't consider
He's a
him to
scumbag?
be. Yes, he's a scumbag. I don't consider him to be
He's
even
the
an anti-hero.
protagonist, who is a scumbag, which puts him in the role of an anti-hero.
Bleh.
I know, but it's true.
Well, and
I
the-
think
and-
things in The Walking Dead are going that way too, but that's always been more complex.
And with House of Cards, I mean, the politics of it, like the Frank and his wife, being for the greater
He's
good of the world
unapologetic
and the
for it.
cause, right?
They're selfishly motivated, but they're also unapologetic about it. And there's something about their acknowledgement. He acknowledges how disgusting what he's doing is, how disgusting the system is, how bad it is. But he's just good at manipulating it, and so is she, and so they
Yeah.
get together.
It's like, but I'm really good at this, so I'm just gonna win.
But what do you say? Like everything's about sex, except for sex. That's about power. Like that's really it.
I was fondly think of Dritz as an anti-hero, but he's not really. He's not. He's really just a hero. It's just he fits the personality type of so many anti-heroes because of his dark, brooding internal struggles. If you haven't read the Dritz, the Dark Elf trilogy, it's set in the Forgotten Realms universe. It's by R.A. Salvatore.
Yeah, the flashing scimitars.
I loved those books. Holy cow. But that's an interesting... He's almost like an anti-villain. I mean, like... He's trying to break away from his culture, and he's from a terrible, awful culture. Right? So he's got this internal struggle because he's a dark elf, and he should be doing horrible things, and everybody's going to always assume, no matter what he does... but
He's doing horrible things.
He wants to do good things. He slaughters the shit out of people. And then he's all angsty about it, but it's always justified. It's like those are great stories, and they don't seem to neatly fit into any of these tropes or archetypes.
Mm-hmm.
But they do turn a lot of them on their head. So it's interesting you mentioned using that as a literary device.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think it's a really good point. We see a lot of really fun stuff like that. I was trying to think of the name of the character, but there's a character in well, it was The Seeker was the name of the ABC Family series, but it was based on the Sword of Truth, the Sword of Truth series. And the books are so much better than the show, but the show is still really, really good. I've watched it through like twice, even though it is ABC Family, so it frustrates me because I'm like, why can't they be just a little bit naked? Like, can we not pretend like everything needs to be like? I don't want the nudity. I just feel like it's almost unrealistic how much they shy away from curse words and sex, and I'm just like, all right, where's that part coming in?
Meanwhile, on HBO.
Meanwhile, on HBO, it's an ass for days and maybe a dick. Woohoo! So now it's crack myself up. That's what I'm here for. There's a character in that show whose job it is to. She's supposed to be a villain of that arc, but then later becomes somebody for the hero to save, which is kind of a trope. But then she's not. In other ways, she completely doesn't fit that because her backstory is horrendous. It's kind of like a Killmonger type situation where it's like, okay, she's trained to be a dominatrix style person that's just there to harm people and inflict pain and get the truth out of people and be an absolutely terrible person. But yet that's what she was trained as. They take them away from their parents when they're very, very little girls, and then they make them experience this pain stick thing. And the part that blows my mind with that character is it's not until like a while into you knowing this character that you find out that when she applies the rod to somebody else, I can't remember the name of the thing is, but when she applies it to somebody else, there's a point where he's like, somebody's like, oh, you don't know what it's like. And she's like, yeah, we do. I feel it every time. We just go through it for years. And you're just like, and you think about how many times she uses that thing, and you're just like, this poor thing. Like, every time she's doing this to somebody else, she is feeling every inch of that pain. And it's those kind of things where you're like, okay, that's really well done.
And the redemption arc is definitely a trope used commonly. But
yep,
it's a good story.
For villains. Especially for villains.
I love them when they're good. When they're good like that, you know, and they just maybe they don't completely come around, but they do something to help the hero along. And that's like probably one of my favorites. It's probably one of my favorite conventions. I see it coming every time, but I still like it.
Yeah. That's a Walking Dead thing that's been hard. Like there's been a lot of characters where like you want them to get better, and like you can see where they're coming from, and then they don't. Like they kind of wrap those up with don't or dead a lot on that show. Are either of you watching Lucifer?
No, but I've heard good things.
I really enjoy it. It's kind of mostly turned into like a weekly cop show, but all the characters came from Neil Gaiman's Lucifer, originating in Sandman, and Mazikeen is in it, and she's a demon who has come from hell, and she was a torturer specifically. That was her specialty. And Lucifer is there, and he's like, I'm staying here, Dad. I cut off my wings. I quit my job, which was part of his original arc. And his brother comes to try and drag him back to heaven, and he ends up with some falls from grace. But there's a lot of it where all of those characters, which are archetypes in themselves. I mean, we have like demons and Lucifer and Amenadiel. So, but they get in these relationships. They're getting to know and understand humanity, and they're still doing all kinds of fucked up shit. But you can't help but look at them like the psyche of children in some ways, because they don't really understand the human experience. And so like they're learning to empathize, like they're learning how to human is.
Just like Castiel from the other angel character from another series. It's just I have to learn how to human now.
Yep.
Yeah, and they do very.
That's another trope in and of
like
itself.
Bunch of anti-heroes all in one story.
The very alien, whatever it is, be it an alien or like an angel or whatever, is learning how to human. That is another trope completely.
Yeah,
the outsiders that have been plopped into the world and have to try to figure out how to deal with the world.
But Lucifer is constantly doing, like I was talking about, the whole anti-hero motivation, not being, like it being selfish instead of being heroic. He's always trying to solve whatever case his buddy detective is on, but it's always because he wants something out of it. Instead of, like, he doesn't really give a shit that somebody was horrifically murdered. It was that he wants to read the last chapter of the book she just wrote.
Oh,
you know, but like he always learns something by the end. It is very tropey that way, and he gets a little more human.
It's funny that one other thing I want to mention on anti-heroes before maybe I wanted to mention a couple other tropes of interest for me, but Game of Thrones. It's all of those people are terrible. There's only like one person that didn't do anything terrible. And he dies at the beginning. Spoilers. So, like, he is the only person that if you look at the story, people are like, oh, he, like, cheat on it? More stuff happens. Things happen. You find out he, in fact, never did things that people thought he did that were bad. Everything he did was kind of like these very motivations. Just like, okay. Like, he was the only good guy. Don't forget the story. He dies very but I guess that's also probably a really common. It's funny enough, but that's also a common thing. Like the innocent that dies, like the innocent dies to show everybody else that they're garbage. I'm trying to think. There's a whole bunch of them like that.
Yep. That happens actually. I guess spoilers. It's been out for a while. I stopped watching Once Upon a Time, actually, because it always seemed like the villain was winning, and I got real tired of it, so I actually lost interest. I lost interest. I was like, well, I know how every episode is going to end with a bad thing, so I don't want to watch this anymore. But, like, the guy that played the Hunter, he was like a sweet cinnamon bun, and he died very, very quickly. I think like episode 3, and I was like, well, that was about when I washed my hands of it. I was like, meh.
You know, and I strangely had a bunch of friends who were like, how could you not be rooting for the evil queen? She's so awesome. I'm like, she is a horrible bitch. Like, no.
I mean, yeah, they tell her story a little bit where you're like, oh, wow, that really sucks that your mom was an even worse bitch than you, but you're still a psychopath.
You still keep making the really evil choices.
The one thing that really killed me, though, was the Mr. Gold, is that I started to really like him, and they suck you in, and then when Belle gets taken away from him, I lost it. I couldn't handle it. I was like, this is too emotional. I can't deal with it. Goodbye. That was the thing where I was just like, I can't deal with the sadness sometimes. Like, some shows, I'm just like, yep, well, this show is just making me, like, bawl my eyes out and be super sad.
Yeah, they really need to throw us a bone once in a while for a fairy tale story. I mean, I'm all about the dark stuff, but not crying every time.
Well, and this was also
every show these days, I feel like, honestly. Sorry.
This is all, that's fine. This is also Once Upon a Time came out at the same time that Grimm had come out, and I was more into Grimm because the hero actually won some of the time. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna watch this show rather than that show. So
that we don't get the hero win stories very much. Like, this is actually one of my biggest problems with, I'm gonna bring up a really stupid show, but Law and Order SVU. I watched it for years. Briska Hagate, or whatever, how you pronounce her name. I love her. I love her character. And I'm like, yeah, like, they're gonna show it. Like, every once in a while, there's like this is a loophole, and they kind of get off, sort of, and I'm like, okay, whatever. But then, and that was like a little trope thing that would happen periodically that would happen, where it's like you do everything right and somehow somebody still gets off, right?
Yeah.
And what's happened is in the last like 2 or 3 seasons, that happens every time. Like they win, and it's like we won, but still this guy is gonna go do terrible things somewhere else, and we can't do anything about it. Oh, wah, 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 like the end of the show.
Yeah.
And you're like, great. Now I'm just freaking upset. I just want, like, more often than not, can we just, if we won the case, can we just win sometimes? Like, can we just have some things where we win? Because everything's just like, this is how we lose.
Yeah, there's a lot of what is it? A good way to succinctly put it is, it's like you win but not. There's a lot of that in modern media, and I think it's because we have so many just like classical stories where the hero wins and he gets the girl, hello cat, and I don't know, maybe modern producers of especially like television, it's a little bit less than movies, but because you have one shot in a movie to have people really like it, whereas in TV you can go on and on for episodes. Get off of my chair, cat. Stop it.
This cat is competing for better ears. It's like, hey, look, Mom, I've got better ears. Yeah,
I've got better ears. So I think there's a lot in the TV industry where you're winning, but only kind of. And that's actually very disheartening to some viewers. And I think they'd be, you don't have to do it every time, obviously, but don't have them also sort of losing every time, because it takes away your hero's agency.
I think that's a really good point. And I think that it's like, oh, they want to make sure we know about the nuance. Like, that's what the world is, not black and white. So we want everybody to know that. But they're working so hard to show that, and it's like, okay, this is fiction.
Yeah.
Let us have a world to escape into. And there's not a lot of escape shows anymore. It's funny that I have to go to RuPaul's Drag Race. I feel like I can escape, because they're just ridiculous, and they're just these crazy dudes dressed like ladies and that wear heels that are too tall.
And some of them are fabulous. It's like I love your
incredible
outfits.
They're incredible, and some of them are the ones that are like real female illusionists. It's like, wow, you're probably one of the hottest women I've ever seen. Oh, you're not a woman. Yeah, you're a gay man.
Well, and something that, and this is going off topic, but something that they gloss over sometimes is most of those costumes are made by them. They're handmade costumes. Like, most of those costumes are made by the drag queens themselves. And I think that's really cool and really awesome. But that's an aside for a different conversation. If we want to have an episode about RuPaul's Drag Race, I'm all for it.
We should totally have that conversation. One of the things that I just want to mention, just from like a super lighthearted thing, one of my favorite, I love TV tropes. That website is one of my favorite things. And there are just some tropes where it's just delightful. I'm like, yep, I'm going to see it every time.
Yeah.
Like, one of my favorites is fat guy, hot wife. How many times have you seen that? Like, I can think of King of Queens, like, just over and over and over again. And I find it silly and funny. And then I'm like, why am I so okay with this? Like, this is literally...
Let's see. Let's hit the button. Click.
Oh, yeah. Let's hit the button. Oh, I got identical grandson.
I got
descendant or ancestor is physically identical, or would be, to the character himself. Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. I got domesticated dinosaurs.
That's so, but it's like not just dinosaurs, right? It's like just domesticated, like, critters.
Yeah, domesticated, unusual critters.
Yeah.
Does elf fit in that category?
like war rhinos. I want one. Okay, one.
Sorry, the next one that I clicked is, have I mentioned I am sexually active today? A character that talks big about his, or more rarely her, love life and success with the ladies or gents, but in fact has little or nothing going on.
Oh, of course.
Can also be part of the, of course I'm not a virgin trope.
I think there's
Oh,
one
yeah.
of those in every 80s movie.
Mm-hmm.
Every single one. Like Biff, every Biff ever. Like you thought was getting laid, but he wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
So the unreveal. This is a good one. It appears that a reveal is being set up, but there's no reveal in the end. Oh, it's so obnoxious. It's like
Ugh.
the moment killer. Like that happens a lot.
Yeah.
Well, I think it is that just about covers it. Folks, if you want to chime in on our conversation or any of the conversations we've had, depending when you started listening, we're on episode 81 after all. Please email us at geekgrills@gmail.com or give us a ring at 508-474-5577. So, girls, what are you most anticipating right now?
So I'm gonna go see Annihilation this weekend. I was supposed to do it last weekend, didn't really get a chance.
Mm-hmm.
But I really want to see it. I've heard really good things about it. I've heard it's like the right level of spooky, which is what I love. So I'm pretty excited about that.
We almost
my
did,
friend-
but then I found out it's going to be on Netflix like in March or something, so I'll just wait.
Yeah, but I have Movie Pass, so I'm gonna go see it.
nice.
Yeah. Matt went to go see it. He says it's very, very trippy. So
Yes.
he said it's the kind of movie that you want to see it sober first, but then totally go see it on some. And don't actually do that, but
Unless it's legal in your state.
Unless it's legal in your state.
Go to the movies. I'm also, my friend is going to be moving from California to here when Mother Nature stops being a giant bitch and dumping snow where he is. So hopefully soon. One other thing that I'm super excited about is BioCow, the creator of Showbot, by the way, finished my neon sign, and it is in the mail, and I'm super excited to receive it in a couple days. It's going to be super cool, which is more motivation to finally get my fucking office together so that we can see, like, my shelves and my cool sign there. So I'm excited.
Cool.
Well, I don't have a lot going on. I am going to see Enter the Haggis Thursday night in Charlotte. I'm really a little aggravated and annoyed because my husband's band was supposed to be opening for them, and the booking agent did something weird. But I'm still going to go see the guys. I love Enter the Haggis. I've been a fan since back when my husband was in the band, like 17 years ago or some shit. And they're coming to town. They don't come here very often. So a couple of friends and I are going, and it'll be awesome. Check them out if you haven't, folks. They have a lot of free music you can listen to online. It's really, really worth it. So there's that.
Yeah. I've got another LARP coming up. It's what I'm anticipating. It's not this weekend, which I have to help my parents pack up boxes because they're moving on the 20th to a smaller house. Finally, they're moving out of the house that we lived in when I was in high school. So that's a couple of years past. But the weekend after is After the End, which is my post-apoc sci-fi western game. And the most exciting thing about that is we are going to a new site called Possum Trot. It's in northern Tennessee. It's like right on the Kentucky border in Tennessee. That is an actual replica western town.
That is so cool for a lot of reasons. Also,
yeah.
Possum Trot?
Possum Trot.
I just want to know that somebody at one point was like, hey, what are we going to name this area? Possum Trot.
Okay, so real talk. This place was built by bored millionaires. Like, they wanted to go play their western game. And so they built themselves a western town, and they would go up on weekends and ride around horses and shoot their guns.
They did what I want to do. Like, if I ever became like a gajillionaire, I'm gonna own a castle with like quarters so that I can have like castle LARPs, and it'll be really cool.
And secret passages.
Totally.
So that's gonna be really exciting. We have a 2-story saloon. Like, I'm super excited. I'm very much, and something I forgot to mention. I actually just got it today. The lady that I was talked about last week that was making me a bag for projects, it finally came in the mail, and it's so pretty. It's all galaxy pattern. So you can you can hang it on your arm and just have your yarn in there and work and just have it hanging on your arm, so you could have it on like a bus or whatever. So
and it doesn't get all dirty with the environment.
Yeah, I'm very, very happy and very excited with that.
It's beautiful.
Yes, I love it. So I already sent her an email going, "Oh my god, I love it! It's so pretty."
That's awesome. So Jen, we've got patron news.
Yeah, so you crazy people can help us continue to be crazy people on the internet by supporting us at patreon.com/grills. That's GRILLS. I want to as always, thank you very much to all of our patrons. We love you. We love your feedback. You guys are the most badass people on the internet, in our opinion. And I want to re-welcome Kyle Reynolds. He has been a patron before and is back, and I'm super stoked. So I'm going to make sure to send him a game or something fun. So hit me up on Battle.net. I know you know how to get to me. And that goes for all of our other new patrons coming up. I have a bunch of game codes. I want to give them to people. So please, if you become a patron and you like games, that's cool, because we'll give you one. But also supporting us helps us.
And Kyle, right back to me. I did send you a note on Patreon asking some questions, because you subbed at a level where we're going to make you stuff. So
Swag bag.
I need your address for the swag bag.
Yep.
Yes.
Let's see. Oh, my turn. iTunes reviews. If you want a free way to help us out, you can go on to your your podcast catcher, and you can leave us a review. They are free and they help our ranking, and that helps people find us, and gets our ratings up. And you can also join our Facebook page and follow us on Twitter, and you can help spread the word. We've got a really, really nice person that unfortunately my brain has blanked. I can't remember his name, but he always reposts.
Vinod.
Yeah, he always
Vinod,
reposts
every
our
time.
stuff, and we're really appreciative.
He's probably already retweeted that we're live. I'm pretty sure.
It helps people find us.
Thank you, Vinod.
Oh yeah, and by the way, if you want to come hang out with us live and talk in the chat, we are on Twitch, and we will always post it on the Twitter for Geek Girls, but it is 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Tuesdays. Come hang out with us and listen to us record live.
Totally. So where else can folks find you on the interwebs?
You can also listen to me talk about women in gaming on the Glitter Dice podcast, and we are currently doing Glitter Dice plays, playing Monster Hearts. And you can also find me on Twitch under the name True Noob. That is TRUN00B, and that is where I do my live streams for making Pokemon plushies. So if you want to see how I make the things that are on the plushie updates, you can join me then.
And you can find me at The Jen Says on Twitter and streaming at twitch.tv/TheJenPlays. Not as much lately because PlayStation kind of sucks going to Twitch, but we're going to work on that. You can also find all of the things that I do at thejensays.com. Hooray.
Yay. I can be reached at 9of12 on Twitter and Twitch, and you can hear me on the Part-Time Gamers podcast on Thursdays as well. Thanks for listening, everyone. Good game.
Good game.
Bye.
GG.
If you enjoyed this show and have the quill skill to shriek speech, leave us a 5-star unique critique on iTunes or thrill us with the size of your handbill by spelling goodwill into our tills at patreon.com/grills. We can also be found windmilling around Facebook and YouTube at facebook.com/geekgrills and youtube.com/geekgrills, where we like to chill. Tweet your siren songs where the throngs belong on Twitter at geekgrills, where we're dressed to kill. For more info on the show, though, go to geekgrills.com, where you can find previous episodes, show notes, and current contest information. Send us your psalms and qualms to geekgrills@gmail.com, or give us a ring at 508-474-5577, where we can hear your lovely voice sing the zing thing. Thanks for listening.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.
I'm like trying to do this and hit the button at the same time. It doesn't work.
I know,
another
right?
hand.
No, gotta do both. By the way, that was a super fun episode, and apparently, I want to go and like rewatch a bunch of shit. Actually, because the conversation, like Linda, you brought up a trope, and I was like, oh, I want to go watch this, and that, and then Ember would mention like something else, and I'm like, I want to watch that, and that.
I didn't even get to talk about like the 5-man band thing, which is like,
oh yeah, that happens all the time.
Yeah, you could do it. We could do a whole episode on 5-man band just by itself.
We totally should.
I'm
I also
looking
want to
at
do an
these
episode
titles.
on that gamer. You know how everybody has that one gamer? No. That was super fun. I think that everybody. Oh, I forgot to mention it. Next week, we have JF DeBow on Sci-Fi Writer. So I'm super stoked about that. I'll make sure to throw it on the tweet things. We need to make notes. The following week, I have no idea what we're doing that week.
We'll Facebook post about it and find them on Twitter and tweet about it ahead of time.
By the way, put show ideas in and vote for them. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
That's cool.
BioCow, you're a bro.
I really like this one.
BioCow just gave you bits.
Yay!
Woo! Yay, bits!
All the bits.
Not showing for me. All I saw was his emote come up. Oh, yay.
Maybe you're...
Thank you, BioCow.
And catching it?
Bits for us.
Let me see here.
Someday
so
we'll have so many bits that Twitch will send us money.
So from my very, very heaviest, I am 75 pounds, well, plus a little bit more than that, but I passed over the 75-pound mark, which is kind of crazy. That's like a human.
It's a small child.
A human capable of slightly more complex thought.
I love this title. It's so long. Like...
I know, I really like it, but it's so long.
Enough of it'll show in a podcatcher that people will get some idea and click on it, right? Is that the...
And vote. And, or add more ideas by hitting the exclamation point yes, and then put the idea. I also like, I really like Jackie's 16 candles at your breakfast club while eating your St. Elmo's fires in the hood. Yep. That's pretty much how it goes.
Isn't that the movie Friday?
Yeah. Apparently mine got a couple votes. No one can talk Tuesday. I don't know why. Like, what is the deal today? Like, none of us can just, like...
Yeah.
I used all my talking at work, maybe.
Yeah. My fringes are so soft. It's all done. Yay.
Did you find the right white? Remember you had to go get a different yarn because the other white was not matching the white?
I got the correct white yarn. It's something that I probably am the only one that would have noticed. But I still would have noticed, so it would have driven me completely batshit. I would have been like, nope, can't do it.
All right, can we rate... I'm sorry.
Fine.
I totally just shiny. Dills went live and is streaming right now. Can we rate Dills? Can we shake things up and rate Dills today? I have to go pretty soon anyway. Can we cool with that? Which episode title do we want to do?
No one can talk Tuesday is winning right now.
No one can talk Tuesday.
I like how it almost rhymes with Taco Tuesday.
I know.
Yeah.
It does. It does almost rhyme with Taco Tuesday. I actually really like it now. I think no one can talk Tuesday. I'm okay with it, but it was mine, so I feel like I'm not allowed to say that.
Sure you are. Dang, it's our show.
Okay. I do agree. Jackie, I get that it was just a joke, but I love it. It's such a good...
It really is.
It's so perfect.
Okay, so Ray Dills, what are we going to say? And
hey!
Oh, that's it. Here it is. So there's actually a word for losing your words. I couldn't remember what it was, so I had to look it up.
What?
It's called aphasia.
Okay.
Aphasia is when you can't remember words.
Damn it.
So,
baby. Oh, BioCow are fighting over show titles and the thing. We both put the same idea in, and I'm trying to see which one of us beat the other one. Sorry. I'm I'm like a shiny squirrel. Work was very, very hard today. I'm like an ADD like munchkin. Tuesdays
It's
are my Monday.
okay.
I
Yeah.
come here and I'm like zip, 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 zip.
Yeah, I had a pretty good day at work until the very end, and then my cramps started, and when I got home, I just kind of curled up on my bed for about an hour with my rice sock, and I was just like, I need to just lay here for a little bit. Matt was like, I'll make dinner, you just lay there, and I'm like,
I think that no one can Taco Tuesday is definitely the right way to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like
think
the combination
I think
of
the way
yours
that
and...
you typed it is better than the way I typed it.
No, I like yours.
Oh, I know. He did the same thing, except he did the -O at the end of chalk. I just did it with an O at the end. But I think that should totally be the title. No one can Taco
me. I don't know
Tuesday.
why it's not showing up for me.
I vote for that one hardcore.
I'm not seeing the one with the dash in it. So it's no one can talk -O.
Talk O
Don't be a
Tuesday.
menace.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. Don't be a menace. I was trying. I was like, shit, Boys in the Hood. Don't be a menace. All right. So we want to rate dills with maybe like Geek Girls loves the dills, maybe.
Sure.
Give it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. I know there's a way on Twitch to go ahead and make it say that when I go in, doesn't it? Or do I just rate him and then everybody else can do that?
You can just /rate him.
I know that.
Oh, you want the message to come
Sit
out.
down.
Oh God, what is happening?
I'm sitting up and I'm sitting down. Why are you yelling at me?
Spacebar on the wrong keyboard sets off the soundboard. I'm so annoyed about the plushie thing. My husband put new sounds on it last week.
Okay.
He renamed the actual application Soundboard 2. So I just loaded Soundboard and didn't notice that's not the right fucking one. Anyway. Okay, so Jen, you want to go ahead and type in the Geek Girls Love the Dills so that people can just copy and paste it when we raid?
Yeah.
And then I'll hit the raid.
BioCow has tapped it in.
Oh, okay.
Love.
Tapped. How about typed? No one can Taco Tuesday.
No Taco Tuesday. No one can Taco Tuesday on Taco Tuesday.
No tacoing.
Like, I get paid to talk to people. Like, really, I do. I swear. And I actually don't suck at it. Sometimes. Until I come on the internet in front of all of the people.
And then it's just gone. Just gone.
By the way, I'm gonna totally say it again. If you listen to if you watch The Walking Dead, Jackie and I had a fucking blast on Saturday. So Sunday, yeah, on Sunday it was super.
Yeah, I wanted to see. Well, I tried to watch it originally, and then it got
good.
rescheduled, and yeah.
Yeah, Jackie's internet was being a poo hole. Let's
Hate
start
when that
this
happens.
raid off, man.
So, all ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, thanks for coming, everyone. Bye.
Bye. We love you. Bye.
Hang out with Dills.
Bye. Let's go yell at Dills. Give him some love. Hang out.
Dills is
raid,
awesome.
Raid.
We love him.
I know, Jackie and I had so much fun. Oh, so good.
He was such a great help to us.
Hello. Bye. Let's go give Dills some love.
Yes. Beer. All right. Yeah, we're in the Dills chat. Bits. I like bits. That's exciting. If a raid is offensive, moderate it in chat settings. Thanks, Twitch. Eek.
Twitch, you're an asshole.
I might want to, do the thing.
I'm excited. I have 21 followers now. I'm almost halfway to the affiliate number.
I can't even hear him notice, by the way, because my headphones are plugged in the wrong machine right now. See you, Grills Late. Oh, we haven't decided on a new
Hey,
topic.
Grills.
So what are we doing next week?
Oh, the author.
JF Dubois.
J.F. Dubois.
The week after that, we need something.
Okay, but we can figure that
We
out.
got time.
We'll
Yeah.
do a Desert Island episode. Can we put that on? Like the 5 albums you take the Desert Island?
What?
I'm going to do a Desert Island episode. Like when we talk about like the 5 movies, the 5
Oh,
albums that we would take with
that's a good
the 5
idea.
books that we would take with us.
Yeah, we could do that. I shall write it in the
It'd be fun
topic
to do.
ideas.
Thank you
Not
very
just
much.
the albums, but 5 movies, 5 CDs, and 5 books.
Desert Island. 5 movies. TV shows.
5 movies / TV shows.
Movies / TV shows. And then 5 books. And then what? 5 foods?
Music albums.
Shows. Okay.
What would you like? What media would you want to ingest, basically, while you were stuck on a desert island?
Music albums.
I think food is a good idea, too. Because it really...
Oh, my
Hard to think
brain.
about.
Okay, 5 movies / TV shows, 5 music albums,
5 books.
5 books. There we go. I am not usually this brain dead. Oy. Alright. So that'll be for 2 weeks from now. Now I need to go over to my game forum.
Okay, I'm gonna hang up. See ya. Good job,
All right,
guys.
I am on my way
Awesome.
out.
Bye.
God, I love this show.
I love you all. Bye bye.
Bye.